Welcome back, brothers, to the 801st Star Wars Legion podcast. I'm your host, Kyle. Joining me is Matt. Today we have a lot to talk about concerning some new units that were announced at the Adepticon panel from FFG. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Hello there.
You must unlearn
Dark
what you
side
have
of the
learned.
Force is a pathway to many abilities.
Red,
Some
green, or
considered
red, green, red.
I know.
Gosh, will do!
Sorry about the mess.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
General Kenobi.
Let's rearrange some architectures.
Is it possible to learn this power?
I thank you for your hospitality.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Impressive. I'll show you the dark side.
Welcome back from that light space cruise. You may fasten your seatbelts in the upright position. Something about carry-on baggage. How you doing, Matt?
Doing good. You know what I got in my carry-on baggage?
Do you?
A tiger.
Oh, you watching that Tiger
I'm
King?
watching Tiger King.
Gosh, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet. Oh man, but apparently it's like the craziest thing in the world.
So wild. It's so
No pun
out of this
intended
world.
or pun intended.
Pun intended.
Oh wow!
It's ooh. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. I can't believe you haven't seen that yet. Have you seen the memes and stuff like that at all?
Well, I've seen like a lot of the memes, but I don't get them at all. You know?
Oh man, I thought that. See, that's what I saw, and it got me into the show. And I binged it in 2 days. So.
Oh man! Remember that part of How I Met Your Mother when they're like the gentleman, like the inside joke? I feel like that's me right now. I feel like everyone's joke, the Tiger King, and I'm like, oh yeah,
the
on
Tiger
the Blitz,
King.
yeah,
yeah.
the Blitz.
Kyle being the Blitz out here. Well, why don't you go home tonight and watch it? Just got time.
I probably will. I have tomorrow off, so
Yeah. Oh,
like,
then why not? Yeah.
it'll be Star Wars, Clone Wars, and then it'll be
Tiger King.
Tiger King. Speaking of Star Wars Clone Wars, this is going up after episode... well, not the episode 3, but the third episode of Ahsoka's arc. What did you think about the last episode?
So talking about the episode prior to what you guys know, it just came out.
Yeah, because...
Actually, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, I thought it was a step up. It definitely felt... The first arc was just very much introduction to things, getting things going. This second episode in this arc, I did enjoy it a lot more because it got things cooking. It introduced... Because we talked about this. We felt like both Ahsoka had already kind of been through the whole seeing the other perspective of things from both Separatist side, Republic side, Jedi, anti-Jedi. And I get they're trying to show the poor versus the rich thing, give her a very rounded perspective. But I really like this idea that they're kind of setting up of her being a good ethical role model for her friend, where her sister's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. I like that dynamic, and I like kind of seeing what's going on. I thought, have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't watched it yet. No, I'm very much a person that, like, will wait until I feel like... I like to enjoy the experience, like, as carefree as possible.
You're a binge watcher.
Well, a binge watcher, yes. But with this particular case, like, I knew because of how I felt about the previous episode... I wasn't necessarily on board with this story arc right away. I'm still like gonna watch it because it's Clone Wars. I'm actually gonna watch it tonight before the new episode comes out. That being said, like I knew that this episode was gonna probably be better, and it's probably just gonna. What ultimately makes it better is that it sets up what's gonna happen coming next. And I'm like, that's just a huge tease. So I'll just wait. So I'm really just waiting for tonight, and then I'll watch both in one night.
Nice. Well, I'm not sure if today is the last episode of the arc. It might well be. It very well could be.
True. I hope so.
Do you? Yeah. It's fun.
I don't know. Something about these characters just doesn't. I hope there is someone out there that really can identify with these characters and relate to them, and I hope that's worth it. You know.
Yeah.
Because that's like not everyone loves the prequels. I love the prequels, and that's for me, and I'm so glad that George made those. You know. So I hope with this little arc that, like, on a smaller scale, it's for someone, you know? Someone out there loves this.
And it definitely is. It's just probably, yeah. So, I agree.
I'm not going to hate on it just because I don't like it,
you
know?
Yeah. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there are some cool places they go.
Oh, that's
I'll say
cool.
that. I'll say
cool.
that. Like, you'll see it happen in the episode when you finally get around to watching it.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, that's so cool. You can kind of see where they were going with other movies that came out recently. But they kind of... You know, you can see that they were trying to tie things into newer movies, but they'd... do you mind if I just spoil it for you? It's like a minor spoiler.
I do want... Oh, if it's minor, sure, I don't care.
Okay, so they go to Kessel.
Oh, I actually had heard that already.
Yeah,
so
like
you're
they
fine.
come out of hyperspace and you see the cloud.
In fact, you already
and
had
you're
told me
like,
that already.
Oh, that's, did I say that?
Yeah, and like passing. I don't
Yeah,
think you even
did.
realized like in a conversation we had.
I must
like,
have assumed you'd watched it.
I think it was like Friday. We were
Yeah.
talking with someone else, and I think maybe you didn't even say it to me directly. We were talking with someone else. I think actually.
I might have been talking to Sean.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
you
it
were.
was
Yeah, I
Sean.
think you were talking to Sean, and I was just standing next to you guys, and something like that.
Something.
So you probably didn't tell me directly, but
Right?
I had heard it from the
Yeah.
horse's mouth.
But super interesting because like I bring that up because I feel like that was something maybe they were. Like, you can tell that like Lucasfilm took that exact scene of them going to Kessel, and put it into Solo.
Yeah. Okay.
So it looks exactly the same except for when they go to this palace and it's all one part of the planet's beautiful, the other planet's not.
That would
Super interesting.
be interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting. But I just thought it was funny, those tie-ins. It's cool. I'm very happy that there is a story group at Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes it doesn't seem like it with the latest series of movies. But
I can't remember if we talked about this
Yeah.
on the podcast before, but with that, are you a fan of like the everything is connected sort of approach that I feel like they're trying to go in on more and more every movie, every show?
Versus like episodic things that
Yeah.
tell individual stories.
Yeah.
I do like interconnectedness a lot.
Yeah.
Because I like tie-ins like that.
Yeah.
It's something that rewards you for being a longtime fan.
Right.
And that's how I feel. I know there's a lot of people that really don't. And I think we're going to see a lot of change with that, with a lot of people either being unhappy or being very happy as
Yeah.
we move into new series of movies with new characters and things.
Well, like
I like the reward of that.
like Disney and Lucasfilm even said, with this whole. Well, I guess I'm particular in this case referring to the High Republic era. This is
Yeah.
like phase 1 of the next like mission of Disney Lucasfilm Star Wars.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that's very much like a Marvel approach, right? Where everything is connected, everything has its meaning within the universe to get to the larger picture, which is cool. But I'm with you overall. It's just my one thing is like, from a fan perspective, I'd hate for someone to go to the movies and not get something because something happened.
like
in a show
you'd
or a
hate
book.
for this like the IP to do bad because they're like, who the heck are these people? That's not Han Solo.
Right. Well, for
Yeah.
example, like on a small scale in Rise of Skywalker, when you hear Ahsoka's voice, if you didn't know who Ahsoka was, not a big deal. It's just some Jedi, right? Like, of course, the Jedi is talking. On a bigger scale, last time someone saw Darth Maul on the big screen before Solo came out, he was cut in half. So seeing him like alive in a movie was like, what?
That was something I actually had to explain to my dad.
Yeah.
My dad's a big Star Wars fan, but he doesn't really watch the shows.
Right.
But but other than that, he does all the stuff. And so when he saw that, he was like, wasn't that guy dead? And I had to explain. I was like, well, actually, there's a show where...
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because like you bring up Marvel from the other side of the coin with DC.
Mm-hmm.
They had the whole thing where they did like Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was kind of like
Right.
until Legends purged for Star Wars. Because with Crisis on Infinite Earths, they killed a lot of people, rewrote a lot of stories, and opened it up so the writers could kind of move forward and introduce new canon,
New idea.
exactly. And I kind of feel like that's what Disney's done. And like so from Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's where you get Jason Todd being
Right.
Red Hood, which is a great. I actually really like
Awesome
that
story,
I think
yeah.
it's cool. It's something that a lot of people don't like. Well, a lot of people really hated it at first.
Yeah.
But I think as Disney Star Wars moves forward,
Mm-hmm.
the purge, the separating of canon and legends.
Yeah.
I think we'll see that kind of happen.
Well, it's
if that
interesting,
makes
and I want to
sense.
speak to that too because, like, I feel like it also is heavily reliant on like how you handle it, and that goes without saying, right? But in reference to the DC universe, and by the way, welcome to the DC Universe podcast.
This is the comic book podcast.
I was fine with that. What I didn't like when I was reading their comics was the New 52. Like that rewriting was like really annoying.
The one
to
that
me.
just barely happened not that long ago.
Well, it's been like 10 years now,
It's
but
gotta be.
yeah. So, that one really frustrated me because it's like, well, I had just caught up on like everything because I had gotten into that universe like a little late. I was a Marvel boy growing up, like Spider-Man all the way, you know. But I like Batman and I like Superman, so I want to hear their stories too.
Yeah.
Caught up on like their lore and everything like that, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's all gone. It's like, Anyway, it's moving back to Star Wars. I am excited to see Clone Wars tonight. Hopefully the episodes please us
Did
all.
you see the leak for this episode though?
No.
Do you want me to say it?
What was leaked?
It was just a picture
Oh,
of what's
sure.
going to be in there.
Sure.
So the picture was Bo-Katan and other Mandalorians. So
Well, that's nice because
It
we saw
is.
them in the trailer, right?
we did.
Yeah, so that's not real. Yeah,
So I imagine you're right. This is going to be probably some tie-ins moving on to the last couple episodes.
I don't want her to die. She's gonna.
No, she's in Rebels.
No, but I should say
I
that
see
like
what you
in
mean.
like referencing. Sorry, I just threw my pen across the table. I'm so excited. Yes, you're right. She's not gonna die right now, but like
By Mandalorian.
by the time
Yeah.
Mandalorian happens, like she dies, and I want that story to be told, but I don't know if I can handle it.
I know, I really... Oh, R.I.P.
I love Bo-Katan. Like her character is just great, so underrated and so underused. Like she's not even in the show that much.
Right? Oh, did you ever watch what's that movie? Or not movie, TV show with that actress where she played Starbuck. Oh gosh. Battlestar Galactica. There it is.
Oh,
Yeah. The actress, she looks like Bo-Katan a little bit too. They've been talking about bringing her on for Mandalorian. Well, there's rumors, nobody knows, but I would love to see her there.
I mean, yeah,
It'd be
I guess she's not inherently dead. You think it's implied that she might be dead because,
She was the last one with
Yeah.
the darksaber.
but maybe he just straight up stole it. But whatever. I don't know. I've never been a Battlestar fan. Like I tried watching it several times, and that and Doctor Who, sci-fi franchise, I've just never been able to get onto.
They were. I did like Battlestar when I was like in high school. Like, yeah, we're talking like freshman, sophomore year, and it does take a lot of slogging through, but I think it's worth a watch.
I feel like my problem with it is just it's super generic, and I hate to say that because I know a lot of you probably are like, no, it's not. But like I see it, I watch it, I'm like, that's from Halo, that's from Star Wars, that's from Star Trek. Why are all these iconic franchises? I know that Battlestar was first before Halo.
No, actually, I think
before
what's
Halo.
funny is they did copy a lot of Star Wars with the original.
Yes.
which was kind of funny.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Well, do you know what's funny is a guy who's LDS, which that's a big culture here in Utah. Actually wrote the thing, so a lot of it's based off of like LDS iconography and
Interesting.
church stuff. They talk about the Quorum of the 12s and things like that.
Tell me more about this
Interesting
Mormon
stuff.
faith you believe.
It's interesting, but like, so it's so like it's just an interesting thing. But like, yeah. But let's side note, like, that's a whole other side stuff. Like, it's It's just interesting. So like,
Yeah.
it is an interesting show too. Like, if you can get into it, you can. But it's like Lost. It's not for everybody.
Sure. Well, okay. Moving on to the actual agenda. Aside from rambling,
The fun stuff.
You met us at our best, so you get our worst eventually. So yeah, welcome back to the show, everyone. It's been hasn't been a couple weeks. Last week, we're sorry about the delay on the episode. Long story short, don't trust Google Drive. Like, just don't. Like, I think Google's been having issues because I try and listen to podcasts. They keep on getting interrupted. I don't know if it's just like my account that sucks, but like when I kept downloading the files for our podcast to edit, Google Drive just like kept corrupting them or like couldn't export them properly. And so it took me a couple days to actually figure out what the problem was between my schedule and everything like that. Finally got it out Sunday at a weird time, but I'm like, you just got to go out. Like any later than this, I'm just going to say scrap it. But I didn't want to do that again. But yeah, so sorry about the delay on that last week. This one's going to be probably super easy to edit now that I have all the kinks worked out with that. I'm going to be using Microsoft's OneDrive. Hopefully that works better. But yeah, stay safe out there with Corona and everything. We ourselves are doing social distancing. You are all the way on the other side of the table.
A full 6 feet away.
Full 6
Yeah.
feet. And we are the only ones in the building. So really nice time to record a podcast. We're recording way earlier in the day than we normally do.
We are.
So that's super nice.
It's weird how like the schedule's been changed like that.
Like we won't go outside in places or it won't be dark outside. Like it'll still be bright when we leave.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about it too is like this is like what lets me have kind of like it's the way that I have a reference for time. Getting together for the
Yeah.
because I don't leave the house very much because just social distancing.
Oh, I was like,
You're not
are
supposed
you
to.
admitting you're a homebody? But just with I feel
We're gonna be
you.
a homebody. We're gonna have a house party. No, but like it's funny. It's like we've been door dashing groceries to the house and
Nice.
stuff because you can do that, and a lot of the
Oh man, you're
grocery
you're
stores
that guy.
have like, well, dude, like,
Have you door dashed before?
Have I? You know I've door dashed.
No, like been a driver.
Oh no,
I
But,
have. That's how I made a living in between jobs
really?
last time.
Okay.
I hate grocery deliveries. You get paid the least out of any order. You're expected to do twice the. Maybe things have changed since I've done it, especially now with like.
Oh man, really?
How much?
I feel like it always gives me the option to tip no less than like $7.
Here's the thing about tips: you can always put in 0.
Really?
You can always put in 0, and you know what? They don't care either because they have to pay. Like the driver gets a notification of like the price of before they accept the delivery, and they agree to that. And that's locked in. So it doesn't matter how much you tip. DoorDash will always pay them. So if you pay them a $20 tip, they got the guaranteed rate. And then occasionally their algorithm will be like, okay, well, this is a little bit of a surplus more than we were expecting. So here's $2 extra. But you paid $20 of a tip. The driver only sees about 2.
Really?
It's so dumb.
That's dumb. For all your DoorDashers out there, I appreciate
Yes.
it. Just know that I'm one of those guys that feels like you should tip more.
If you tip in cash is my only recommendation.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, that's Corona. Just
hey,
like
welcome to the DoorDash podcast.
Your host, Kyle, former DoorDasher. But yeah, like stay safe, guys. With that, because of Corona, we also did not get games of the weekend. Surprise, surprise. And I know like people are gonna say, hey, you could do TTS. You can do this and that.
Nah.
We've done this before. I'm just not a fan of TTS, okay?
Neither of us are.
No.
I just, we've talked about it before. It just looks like it is a simulator, but it's like, it makes me want like a legit application, like a video game of sorts.
It's like Empire at War. You want an actual game of it.
Right. I think FFG would probably make so much money if they went in, at least on X-Wing, to make like X-Wing a mobile experience. It's so easy. The load, like the graphical capability on a phone can more than handle that. You know, FFG just pay me 5% of marketing. I gave you the idea. Run with it. No, but we didn't play any games this week, but we got a couple new games. I mean, just games around the shop that we wanted to try. You got Lord of the Rings. You tried that?
Yep. Fun. I definitely prefer Legion. It was fun. That's the thing. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, it's like a hey, I'll bring this out every once in a while kind of thing.
Yeah. I did get a lot of painting done.
Nice.
You too, actually, right?
I had someone paint for me.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, I had a community member here, Sean. Shout out to you. He decided he took my offer, and I bought him a set of Tauntauns, and he painted 2 sets of Pathfinders for me. Really simple color scheme. It's my red and black rebels, like Imperial defectors or undercover, however you want to look at it. And yeah, really easy color scheme. So hopefully it wasn't too hard for you, Sean. Yeah, I feel like I got a great deal on that, and he knows he's on the cheaper side. He just does it for a free product, and so that's worth it to him. So that's really great. I like he did a much better job than $20.
Yeah,
so let me tell you.
Well, it's funny. It's stuff. He's so good at it.
He really is.
He really is.
Yeah, so no games for Legion this week. So that just brings us up to the main topic of the show today, the Adepticon panel, which did not happen. So they did an Adepticon live stream replacement panel, which I gotta tell. I don't want to be negative.
Kyle.
I don't want to be negative.
Again.
But it was barely a panel. Like, I understand, well, it's not a panel. There was no, usually in a panel they open up to, Q&A at the end. They really, they asked a couple questions from the live stream chat, but there wasn't a whole lot of, all right, here, ask us your questions. And that's fine, too, because, if you've ever been to a conference or a convention of any kind, the Q&A portion at the end of any panel, it's hit or miss. Or for a better way to say it, it has the real big potential of going south real fast.
Yeah, well, it's hard because fans want to ask the questions that you can't answer.
Right.
It's gonna happen. Well, now that everything's been spoiled, what else is coming?
Right.
You can't answer that question. Well, I want to see the cards for the units. Well, you can't give them the cards. You're trying to do the articles.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Well, and it's also people tend to ask awkward questions that are too personal too. I've seen that a lot. So if you and your wife were ever alone on a desert island with a Nemoidian, would you guys?
Oh my gosh! Really?
It's just weird.
Wow. Okay.
People get weird at conventions. So that's no fault to them. But overall, we got 10 to 15 minutes of Legion content, which we'll go into. Good stuff.
In fact, that is the main topic of the day.
Yeah.
Breaking it down.
Yeah. So let's get started, actually, with that. Do we want to start with what we did know already that had kind of been spoiled? Well, all of it had been spoiled already.
Let's start there.
Okay, so just straight up and simple, let's start with the units that were already leaked fully. Like, because just going down the list, we got the Staff Riders for the Separatists, we got the ATRT for the Republic, we got Inferno Squad for the Empire, and Mandalorians for Rebels. There's a couple different layers to that, and we'll break it down as we go through. But we had known about Mandalorians and Inferno Squad longer, so let's start with that. Why don't you take it away with? Let's start with Inferno Squad.
Absolutely. So the one we wanted to talk about is we're going to talk about Gideon Hask because he's going to embody he'll embody a lot of what's going on, and we already kind of knew prior about Del Mico and things like that. So Gideon Hask, his attack, 2 red dice, range 1 to 3, 2 health. Imperial Spec Ops Forces or Imperial Core Trooper. And we say Spec Ops, and they did clarify that this is the unit that Inferno Squad would be a part of. So Imperial Special Forces is not the rank, but it is an actual unit.
Yeah, and they kept on wording that weird in the stream, and I feel like they stumbled over a bit, and I feel like there's a way simpler way to put it. Quite simply, the rank is Spec Ops. Special Operations, right? That's the rank. The squad name is Special Forces. Forces opposed to Operations. Really simple way to think about it. Special Forces will mean Inferno Squad in the generic form of.
It doesn't help that Imperial Special Forces is the canon name for that type of unit, and the rank they put in here was Spec Ops. So it was going to be confusing either way.
Yeah.
But anyways, long story short, you add 1 Gideon Hask mini to the unit. Your courage value is increased by 1, and this is the juicy part. You gain Coordinate Core Trooper unit. And this is mini as your leader. So that is such an interesting thing. Kyle, what do you think about that?
Well, I actually hadn't thought about this before until you had brought it up just now. Because we had known about the coordinate thing. A lot of people have been saying, and we're not unique in this, but I feel like the instant thought is like, oh yeah, core troopers, get that link targeting, or not link targeting, right? Comms relay back to the short troopers in a way. But it doesn't coordinate, isn't it like a distinctive choice? So like if you gain coordinate to trooper unit, you would then have to choose, am I going to coordinate to the shore trooper or am I going to coordinate to the mortar? Right? That's how that works?
It is.
So in that scenario, what do you think is better? Do you think it would be better to... You play Empire. You tell me. You're the master.
You give it to the short troopers.
Short trooper. Okay.
Because you only need... It's interesting because it's so funny that they took away the whole emplacement troopers cannot coordinate.
Right.
Which is so funny now because you can still kind of do it light.
Yeah.
Coordinate light for the Empire because you would just, when you're passing out orders, let's say you place, what is it, Imperial Discipline or whatever, where you give out 3 core troopers. Oh, Coordinated Fire.
Okay, yeah. The aims and stuff.
Yeah. So you can give it to them, and let's say you put him inside of a short trooper unit. Well, you're already coordinating to an emplacement, and then you can pass that on to another set of short troopers who can give it to their emplacement. So you're getting target for both of them because you're getting issued orders,
right.
And now 4 people have their orders issued to them. It's basically the same thing. It's essentially the same thing. It's really good. And it's interesting. You can also be a Spec Ops unit and get this, or the Special Forces unit and get that.
Well, and I can't remember if you mentioned this, but 2 extra health as this mini too.
Yeah, and he's the leader, so
he'll be the last.
Yeah, he'll be the last, and he has to take 2 health damage before he's gone, 2 wounds. That's really good.
Okay, so have they come out and said the rule with this? I don't think they have, but could you potentially be like, oh, I suffered 1 wound. Okay, I'm gonna give 1 wound to Gideon, and that way I still have all my minis.
That's an interesting. I don't know.
Or if you assign a wound, do you have to assign the next one to him as well?
Well, it's funny because I'm sure they'll have to do some kind of FAQ clarification on that because when you get Echo and 5s out, it'll probably be the exact same thing.
Oh yeah,
it'll for sure be the exact same thing, but
I would think.
Yeah, well, especially because it does change things as far as choking out troopers and things like that. Well, to an extent, because with him being the leader mini, the way it works is, if your leader dies, you just swap minis with him.
Right.
So I could see people pulling that trick of throwing him out front, having him take 2 damage, and then you just swap him to the back mini. Do you know what I mean?
So this is more and more health. That's a
Yeah, so like technically Gideon Hask could have like 5 health because he'd be in the trooper. Well, and he'd have like 6 health because he's a trooper set of 4. He's a heavy. So like if you had him behind a building and he's the only one sticking out, he's the only one that can shoot. But when they take damage, when he dies, he just goes to the back and you keep moving him up. So
Right.
and because that's how people play with the sniper units.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's got to be. They'll probably have to talk about that.
well. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. And we've talked about this before of like potentially putting like you compared it to Echo and Fives. Once we find out what they do, like imagine putting them in a strike team, hiding the other mini behind line of sight, poking those 2 out. Okay, they died, but now they're back in it. 4 health technically.
Yeah, that 3 health unit just became 4 health. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy good, and you've got that red save on him. Yeah, not bad at all. There's just a lot of interesting things here you can do with the whole coordinate trooper
Yeah.
stuff as well. I mean, because like imagine you put him in just a stormtrooper unit to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but you gave it the Medroid, and the Medroid can heal too.
I want
So you just heal yourself back. So you just took
dang,
your,
that's good.
just took your 5 health mini, or 6 health mini, to being like 8 or 9. It's crazy. It's a lot.
I feel like there might be like
Like,
some rule clarification that comes out
there's
in
gotta
FAQ
be.
or something like that.
Because that's more health than like heroes. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of health.
for sure. Yeah, no, that's crazy. We also got Del Mico.
Or Tristan Wren.
Well, as far as
Oh,
Inferno
yes.
Squad goes,
Yeah.
he shoots the 2 black, right, or the 3 black. Let me pull
2 black.
2 black. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have him pulled up right here?
We can pull him up, but I do remember he's range 1 to 5. Yes.
Right, yeah,
pull up.
he's like a sniper in a core unit, which is cool. Yeah, I got them right here. Yeah, so Del Mico, he is a range 1 to 5, 2 black. So he's a sniper, right? Also has 2 health. He has the same requirements, can go into Imperial Special Forces or core units. Yeah, the Del Mico mini, and he gets the free action to repair 2 capacity 1. That's pretty great. So now you don't really need if you're running like a heavy vehicle list or whatever, you don't need the astromech as much anymore. What do you think about that? Is that like do you think that's going to be more of an ability that's just more of like a novelty, or do you think that actually has utility?
Well, that's such a good question because I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's funny because so I play Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game, and they do a lot of things like this that hint at what's to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll start releasing new characters, and somebody be like, "Oh crap! Like there must be like a legendary character coming out for this faction." Like, "Oh no, they came out with the new Resistance couple characters. I should probably get those to get ready for the new Resistance legendary." They've been doing this a little bit with like VA and this card, where it looks like they're pushing a little bit towards vehicles being better. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be true, but giving vehicles more utility. So I do think for now it's probably more on the novel side of things, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple jank lists of people being like, speeder bikes got damaged, they're wheeling like bombing run, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You drop off your bombs on the way back, you're just healing a speeder bike back up a little bit.
True.
Or maybe you've got a tank that you're guarding on your way up or something like that. I can
What
see
was
stuff
the
like
last
that.
vehicle that we got for the Empire? Was it the Gav?
It had to be the Gav, yeah.
Wow. The Empire really I mean, Rebels too. Those 2 factions haven't gotten vehicles in a long time. Maybe it's just because we got the Barks and the Droidicas followed up very closely by the tanks. We feel, and then now ATRTs and staffs, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of playing catch up with that a little bit. But yeah, I don't feel like the Empire has a lot that's going to be useful on. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Well, it's interesting. Is you're not wrong. I mean, I guess you could see you on the ATST healing a little bit.
Yeah,
that's nice. Especially because looking at the ATST, it's great, but I feel like the new tanks are just going to eat it for breakfast. You know what I mean? A lot of impact,
not
a
wrong.
lot of critical. But yeah.
That is pretty nuts. But as far as other utilities he has high velocity, so he can't spend dodge tokens on his attack. But you can't use that high velocity if he's shooting with the core unit or the unit he's in. High velocity has to be the only weapon in the pool. So you would definitely. I feel like he's prime example for splitting fire. You know, when do you think that would be?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You moved up, somebody moved up, stormtroopers are going to shoot the, or you're freaking short troopers are shooting this guy, you're going to shoot somewhere else.
Right.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, and he has lethal, right? So, in short troopers, getting an aim token at target, so with target short troopers, you issue them an order, they get their aim token, right? maybe they're in a good position to shoot already, so they're just going to aim and shoot again. One aim to gain Pierce and one aim to reroll.
That's not bad.
Because the lethal can be applied to any dice pool.
Well, it's true, but I think if you're splitting fire, it's just that gun.
Right. No.
But yeah.
Say you didn't split fire.
Oh, but you didn't, then yes.
Like you're at range 3 of somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Get Pierce 1 on a core trooper. That's at range 3. That's pretty nice.
That's pretty good. It's interesting because this is a question I have for you. Like, because he doesn't search. Well,
no.
Well,
as far as we know.
Well, like if you put him in a core trooper, like a short trooper unit, they don't search.
Right.
So would there be benefit to him being in a naked stormtrooper unit just to get that search to hit?
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's
so
a very
that way
good
when
point.
you're spending your aim tokens, you don't need to reroll.
Yeah.
You're just spending it on lethal. Like, is that a better unit, or is it, or are short troopers? Sorry, snow troopers the way to go? So you could
yeah, that's a good
aim,
question.
move, shoot.
I feel like as far as good, better, best scenario, I feel like Gideon will be much better in short troopers than Dell is. Dell will be good, but I feel like Gideon's better. And as far as snow troopers go, I still feel like overall Gideon is.
Yeah.
I just feel like Gideon's better all around. So yeah, I feel like that's also reflected in the points. Like if I'm not mistaken, let's see, Dell is in the 30s. Where is Gideon at?
I think they're both 38.
Oh, they both are 38. Yeah,
Dell's 38.
man.
Gideon is 38.
Yeah, I guess when you give someone lethal, that is really nice, but still not Pierce.
It is. It's close to it, but yeah.
Pierce in a core unit would be pretty nuts.
It's pretty good.
At that range.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so we didn't get a unit card for Imperial Special Forces. Any idea why?
Oh, man, I was wondering why, because I feel like they're not too far out. Like, I bet we could see them. Okay, Corona pending.
Yeah, Corona pending for sure.
I bet we could have seen them in maybe if not May, June releases.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you.
I bet there's got to be some keyword. Like, what I would like to see is maybe them get some rebel keywords. Does that make sense?
Ooh.
Maybe give them nimble, kind of like
how Iden has it.
Iden has it. Yeah. It'd be interesting. It'd be really interesting to maybe give them some of those keywords, or maybe change
Teamwork?
things up a bit.
Teamwork with Iden.
See, that would be crazy. That'd actually be really good.
Keep them. I think it would be best served for Inferno Squad to be right next to Iden. Like, I think thematically and gameplay wise, that makes the most sense.
That is very true, and there's got to be some keywords there that do stuff like that. I would bet they'd probably get something like marksman. Basically similar to what she's got, but maybe not as good.
Yeah.
And I really want to see what their basic weapons are.
Right.
That's kind of
that's the thing.
What's going to make it for me.
And with keywords, like, do you think the unit is just going to be like a combination of these two? Like lethal, coordinate, 2 reds, 3 blacks. Like,
right?
Wouldn't that be just insane?
Well, it's funny too because these guys, I bet you they're heavy upgrades. They're also heavy upgrades for Inferno Squad. So
they're heavy upgrades for. Well, right. So the character specific cards are heavy upgrades for special forces, but they are still like a part of the unit Inferno Squad. So like in a quote unquote tournament setting, I don't think you can have Gideon Hask and Del Mico in a generic Inferno Squad upgrade or a generic Special Forces upgrade, and then also have Inferno Squad. Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, it would. Well, the fact that they're heavies, and that you make them the leader, you make one of them the leader, does lead me to believe that's how it's going to work. Like,
well, yeah, and I think
they'll be plugged in, but that's kind of where I'm trying to get at. Is like, I wonder if that has to do with what their cards will have.
True. Yeah.
Like their card won't have lethal built in because that's going to be on. Or sorry, yeah, because that'll be on Dell.
Maybe they just have Pierce.
Well, actually, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, Pierce and then take it up to Pierce 2. But I feel like that'd be really overpowered. Their cost is also something that I want to see.
Yeah, I think I think that's another reason why we haven't seen the cards yet, because I think there's probably still working on the points. I think they're trying to they're probably close to nailing down the point value difference between the Special Forces and Inferno Squad, because we're going to get 2 unit cards. So they don't want to show those off right away if they are still trying to figure out the point cost. I would imagine if they're willing to show us this, though, they have the gameplay aspects of these units down. It's the points they're probably trying to figure out now, like what's worth what they want to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure they have the right to change whatever they want at any time. So they do it after the product is released anyways.
They can.
But yeah, that's it for Inferno Squad, unless I'm missing anything.
No, I think it's good. I mean, keep the discussion going yourselves, but like, there's a lot to talk about with it.
Yeah, for sure. Similar case, no unit cards for the Mandalorians, but we are both getting Clan Ren and the Mandalorian Resistance, so that'll be cool.
That'll be really cool. And let's talk about Tristan Ren.
Tristan Ren, my boy.
Yeah, so he's a unique, range 1 to 3, 2 black dice, 2 health. You add him to the the Mandalorian Resistance only, which is interesting because it can't go into Core Troopers like Del and Gideon can.
Right.
But he gets the lethal 1 keyword and suppressive. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is really cool.
I'm a
huge fan of this.
I think people are hyping up Gideon and Del, which they're good, but like I feel like at least of what we talked about so far, I think this is like the best one. Adding suppressive to an attack pool that's probably going to be already super stellar with the Mandalorians, because Rebels, like, they're supposed to be their identity. They punch super hard, you know?
Yeah. And what's interesting is I'm pretty sure it has to be a red dice. Has to be a red dice. I wouldn't be surprised if it's surge defense. Like a red dice surge defense, so it's super hard to kill. He is 38 points as well, so I'm pretty sure it'll be expensive. But what I like about this is there's the rockets they can shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Where it gives them all a red die to go with it. And it gives them blast.
That's super nice.
That's really cool. It's a discard, so once you use it, it's gone. But imagine putting together lethal 1, suppressive, and blast together in one attack, because you can do that. Yeah. That's super deadly.
Well, and that rocket is only 8 points, so like...
Why wouldn't you?
It is one use only, sure, but like range 3 to 4 with potentially 5 red dice... At range 4?
That's a lot. Like, let's say you can just barely see somebody's lightsaber sticking out.
Oh.
Or they're sticking out just enough for you to see enough of the silhouette. Just go ham on it. That's like a hero killer in a lot of ways.
Dude, yeah. That's pretty freaking great.
That's pretty great.
Impact too, which that's nice. So if you need to take care of a vehicle, there you go. That's pretty nice. Oh, and I just realized we forgot the generic heavy for the Special Forces upgrade. The T-21 Special Forces Trooper, range 1 to 3, it's 4 black die, same as the white die, excuse me. Yeah, so same, it's the T-21, 4 whites.
Except they learned their lesson.
Too. Yeah. Exactly. They learned their lesson this time. So moving back to the Rebels, though, for the Mandalorians. We also have the Beskad Duelist, which is pretty freaking sweet if you ask me. I think I said of the ones we talked about so far that Tristan was the best, though. I think this one is personally my favorite for quite a few reasons, actually. So let's pull up the card here real quick. So we're talking the ability. I'm trying to remember. Duelist is the keyword.
Duelist.
Yeah, Duelist is the keyword. Being able to spend an aim token to gain Pierce. Yeah, you can spend a dodge token while defending in a melee attack only to gain immune to Pierce. So this only works in melee combat, but like the utility is super strong.
Super strong, yeah.
Anti anyone with a lightsaber, let me tell you. So that's pretty great. Do you see yourself using this much? Do you think this isn't as great as I think it? What's your thoughts?
I think it depends on what you're using, but I don't get why you wouldn't just take the Beskad Duelist along with your rockets, and maybe you just go hunt Jedi.
Yeah.
Or maybe you know what I mean? Like,
right.
This is really good for hunting those people that you just need to get them dead.
Yeah.
Like, or people you need to hold up in melee.
Yeah.
Let's say you're getting countercharged by some Tons. Just throw your Mandos there, and Mandos they're gonna come with jump keyword. They're gonna they're gonna have jetpacks. So
yeah.
Their mobility is crazy. I mean,
like you see it on their models. They have the flight stands and everything.
Right? Like, and I think they're a unit that you're probably going to want to staple offensive push to.
Oh,
for sure.
Okay. What if they have tactical already?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll do that?
No. I mean the
It's
ARC
definitely-
Troopers are getting that, but like I think that's something that they will have that the other because these are very similar to ARC Troopers in a lot of ways.
That'd be very cool if they could get that. What I think is interesting is the spending a dodge to gain immune to pierce, which is so key if you're going to be in melee with Jedi characters.
Yeah.
I just like the idea that we're getting melee faction characters. I do think it's
Yeah.
like the commando droids with their vibroblades. I love that idea. I can't wait to run 2 sets of those with either Grievous or Dooku. It's just gonna be so fun because it takes a faction that's got 2 really powerful melee characters to being able to put 3 out there. And if you do it right, you can have Dooku and Grievous with those guys, and then just a bunch of naked B1s. It's pretty deadly.
So I know with the vibroblades for the droids, they are not unique. Is the Biscad Duelist a unique card? Can you have multiple Biscad Duelists?
Yeah, I believe it's just it's the heavy.
Right, but like if you have the generic Mandalorian Resistance.
Oh, it's not. So you could put multiple sets out
speaking
there.
my language, man.
Which is so cool. 'Cause imagine that, like flanking Luke, or even better, flanking Sabine with the Darksaber. Like, and they both have jumps, so they're gonna get where they need to go. You can just hide them on one side of a building, and the next turn, jump them over the building into something. There's a lot you can do here.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I feel like
think about VA, like vital assets too.
ooh.
Hostage
Hostage exchange?
exchange.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. You get up there, and like Jedi are coming to hunt you. Nah, you're gonna get there first.
Yeah, jump 3 probably. You know, or jump 2. I guess is what Sabine has.
Jump 2, speed 3.
Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that'd be nuts overall. Do you think there's out of the 2 here? Do you think between the Empire and Rebels, do you think there's a clear winner as far as like who is gonna like just off of what we know, like pure speculation for sure?
Oh,
but-
like Mandos versus freaking Inferno Squad.
Yeah.
That question. Here's the thing. I actually asked Will about this on the Discord. I sent him a message and we talked about it. Because I had the feeling for the first couple of days after you're listening to the panel that Inferno Squad was the clear winners. I just the fact that you can put Hask into a core trooper unit and you can do the same with Dell, it's just so good. It really lets you spread that out. But Will brought up the point that we don't know their cards yet, like the actual unit card, and that could change things. But the more I think about it, I'm sure we'll get jump built in. I'm sure we'll have a good speed. I wouldn't be surprised if we get, surge to block, which is huge.
Oh yeah.
I think Mandos could win. I'm not saying right now they are the winners because I think Iden wins over Cassian for me.
Yeah.
But I think Mandos have a very high probability of being the winners out of those 2.
No, I think you're right. Well, and keep in mind that a lot of the stuff that we're giving you, like for you guys at home, some of it was at the Adepticon stream, and some of it was spoiled after via the Fifth Trooper podcast. So thanks to you guys for doing that. But they didn't show as much for Mandalorians, I feel, as they did for Inferno Squad. We got the generic heavy upgrade. We didn't get. Well, I guess the Biscad Duelist is a generic heavy upgrade.
But we'll get a gunner probably.
But Sabine's mom wasn't shown off.
They showed us that she was there, but we haven't seen her card, I don't think.
So I wonder if she's also just like spectacular.
She's got to be.
Yeah, gunslinger in a core unit.
Oh,
Yeah, baby. Baby.
Baby.
No, I don't know. I think I'm with you though. Also, the fact that we'll have red saves probably with Mandalorians. Search the defense.
It'll be good.
I'm on board.
Yeah. They just don't actually do quote me. I would put money down on that.
Oh yeah,
It's gotta
I think it's 100%. Okay, so moving on to the other things that were announced, we had these leaked as well. Only the boxes though, so we didn't know anything about these units, but the ATRT and the Stap Riders for the clones and the droids respectively. I'll go through the Republic since it's your boys'
I
faction.
was just gonna ask you. Yeah.
And then we'll go through Stap, and you'll go through Stap Riders.
Yeah.
So ATRT, 65 points, very similar to the ATRT from the Rebels that you know and love. Armor, it's a climbing, expert climber. Scout 1, though. So let's say you have a little bit of a rollout action going. You get rollout, and then you get Scout 1, and now you're just ready to flamethrower everyone's face off. I don't know about that, but you get up there pretty quick. And okay, so you shot my ATRT. Now my standby clones are in position. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think this is a great unit. We got white saves, which okay, it's the ATRT. We've seen it before, so at least they stuck true to that. Health of 6, resilience of 4, surges offensively and defensively. So instead of making a surge to critical like the regular ATRT, or like the Rebel ATRT, I should say, now we're just taking it down to hit, but we also surge to defense, which that's super nice.
It's really nice, actually.
Yeah, especially when you consider like you're only gonna get like statistically from a regular shot, you're probably only gonna get like 2 or 3 hits at most coming through, and that's considering impact is involved. Of course, you're gonna occasionally get more, and that's gonna be devastating to you. But like you can count on at least 2 or 3 every round. I feel like.
Well, it's funny because it's like with Armor 1 on the B2s, you don't think that changes their survivability that
Right.
much, but a little change like that makes
Yeah.
such a difference.
Oh, yeah.
And so on this, do you agree that will change things a little bit more?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's just another save that you can potentially get. Where like that little bit like doesn't sound like a whole lot, but now you're going from what a 1 in 6 chance to a 2 in 6 chance of getting a block.
Yeah.
So 20% increase, right? That's how that math works.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
The main gun is also better on the Republic ATRT, where instead of the just plain old white dice, you're getting a range 1 to 3 with 1 black and 2 whites, critical 1 and impact 1. Pretty good. Impact 1 on the melee attack as well, and that's 3 red dice. I gotta be honest, I will love to try the ATRT with no heavy weapon.
Really?
Just it's 65 points for armor, good fire support stand in, so that's cool. But the heavy or the weapons that come, well, they said are just going to be what we've seen already. So the flamethrower, the laser, the impact, whatever the rotary cannon is what I'm looking for. Yeah. So the same weapons. What do you think? I mean, I personally wish that they at least threw in one new weapon.
Let's be real. I know. Well, you ran that list against me with all the phase 2s and Z6s, and you know how annoying it was for you to just be like, "Okay, I searched 5 white dice."
Oh, yeah.
It felt so bad. And being rebels, I was like, "This sucks, man."
Yeah.
But now you don't even have to worry about your surges. Just be like,
Yep.
"Okay, I'll take a Z6 and I can surge everything too." That's huge. That's super big.
Yep.
That's the reason Rebels got the Z6 in the first place. So let's be real.
Yep.
Because it's a lot of dice that have a possibility to hit, but you're not searching. So, and if you have aggressive tactics, you're surging 1,
Yep.
possibly. But this changes things a lot. Also, if you get up there with, so you don't want to use the flamethrower and fire support a flamethrower shot.
Well, I think if you're using the flamethrower, the fire support it loses as much value.
Oh, like it's overkill.
Yeah, I think.
overkill, man.
Yeah, and I would think the rotary cannon is just more it's funny because Rebels, I'm like, yes, flamethrower every time.
Really?
Every time. I don't really run ever. I only really run 1 ATRT. I don't ever run more. But I could see as a clone player running 2 ATRTs just to get up a little bit and set up fire supports, and provide cover on flanking sides like that. That'd be great.
Yeah, and the model, let's be real, the model looks cool too.
Oh yeah.
I like that you can pose it a little bit. Like it's just nice.
Speed 2. I know a lot of people were thinking that because this is a newer one that it would also be like a speed 3, like how they're really fast in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They're not, I guess. But yeah, that's the ATRT. Overall thoughts? Do you think hit or miss?
I think it's a hit.
Okay.
I think it's an expected hit, but I don't think that makes it a bad hit. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Like it's gonna be nice for you to have support options because what do you have right now? Barks.
Barks, yeah.
And this is a lot cheaper than a bark.
Yes. Well, it's a little bit cheaper than the base bark, but let's be honest. If you're going to take the bark, you're also taking a sidecar.
You're taking a
which
sidecar.
puts it up to 90 to 100 points.
Yeah.
So that's just the reality of the situation. I also think this is a hit. This is very much a safe play. Like, this is very much like okay, we saw that coming sort of thing, which I can't really say about the Stap Riders. Why don't you take us away with the Stap Riders?
Yeah, I have opinions and we'll talk about them. But Stap Riders, the card first. Let's break it down. It's a mini of 2, kind of like speeder bikes. Agile 1, AI move, coordinate, droid trooper, and vehicle. Cover 1, speeder 1. White saves 3 health, no resilience because it just dies. No surges either way. Speed 3. And the weapon is the dual repeating blaster cannons. Range 1 to 3, triple black, critical 1, fixed front. And that all comes in at a cost of 73 points.
Pretty good.
Pretty decent, not bad.
I feel like this is one we were like super harsh on when we first heard about
I
it.
kind of still am.
Oh. Okay, so explain to me. What is like the biggest drawback for this unit?
The cost.
The cost.
Yeah,
it is really cheap, isn't it?
Well, stop. No, because ATRTs are cheaper.
Right.
And you've got armor. And you
True.
surge defensively.
True.
And you have more health.
True.
And you...
We still have the same health, 6 health.
Oh, that's true. But you do surge defensively.
There's that.
So I know there's a lot of things where I was like, man, this is kind of going to suck a little bit. But the more I got thinking about it, because I literally went home and I was just like, that freaking... I was at home. I watched the stream and I literally messaged you right after and I was like, bro, the stabs freaking suck. I was not happy about it. But the more I think about it, they're like Tauntauns light.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, you're going to get 2 dodge tokens just for moving. Just for playing the game.
Yeah.
You'll get a dodge
Thanks for playing. Here's your consolation prize.
You don't have any searches or health, but here you go. But it's funny because the more I think the interesting part is the coordinate and the agile. There's just such interesting things. Because with hits coming in, if you move, shoot, which you're probably going to do, because I think the way to play them is give them... They released a card with them where it's got this Umbaran guy on it, and it's like comms something. I can't remember the card. Right. We got to pull it up.
But it
lets you coordinate.
It's a 2-point upgrade. 2-point upgrade.
Yeah, it lets you coordinate from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
1 to 2, which is nice. It increases your range. I don't think you take that card just because I think LTAs are so much better, and you can already coordinate. So like, you give it to yourself. You coordinate to another one. You coordinate to another one with an order. So you can take 3 of these. You all get aim tokens at the beginning. Then you can move, shoot. You get 2 dodge tokens. You have cover 1. That's 3 damage coming at you. That's canceled. Unless it's like a hero or a Z6 that got super lucky, you're probably not taking that much damage. You're probably not losing a stab in one shot. Now, if somebody just crits you up, yes, but that's not going to happen very often.
I have a couple counterpoints to that. Like, I totally get what you mean, but from my perspective, looking like against playing droids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's so good for those things.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that between agile and cover, like even if you just do your compulsory move, that agile is gonna. I think if that counts as a standard move, it does. So you're going to get a dodge token right away. Cover 1, so you pretty much get to cancel 2 hits no matter what, and that's kind of like reflective of what you said. However, I think you're right. I don't think you'll take the comm upgrade that comes with this as much as you'll take long range comm links. I think that'll be the go-to for this one because imagine this: 3 Stab Rider units just traveling in a pack, just funneling around. You coordinate with your pack, right? So like, I have these Stab Riders flowing at you. Okay, long range comm link. I'm going to issue an order them, and then boom, boom, boom. Now I don't have to AI move.
Ah, I see.
So now I could just do my speeder, and instead of wasting my first action on another move, I could maybe shoot or aim and then shoot, and then or maybe if I shoot first, I can go beyond range or something. I think this unit will be a sleeper personally.
That's kind of the conclusion I came to at the end of it was like this is actually going to be pretty good. I'm excited for him. I still hate the fact that there's 73 points.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I think I'm just gonna run him naked though.
Like, I mean, I could see that being an option.
Naked or put just LTAs on him. Because what I really think this would be cool with is the tank, because the tank has a commander that lets you coordinate droid trooper. So what you can do is you can give an order to the stabs.
Oh yeah.
Chain the stabs to your tank. And then your tank can chain to all of your B1s and B2s or whatever.
Oh,
like,
that's
there's a lot of
true.
cool things. Plus, the way that I run my B1s anyways with HQ uplinks, I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Well,
like,
and
I always run them so independent that I don't need to give them orders.
Well, and the way you run them too, like when you do issue the orders, the way you coordinate, it's always like from commander, and then you just funnel up towards the front of your formation.
Exactly, yeah.
With what you're talking about, I can see that being really great for like the reverse. So like maybe I assign orders to the Stab Riders, they coordinate to the tank who has coordinated droid troopers, and now here we are.
Exactly, and so rather than popping 2 HQ uplinks a turn, maybe one set of droids is popping HQs. There's some things I could do. I've thought about this a lot, or I could even reverse chain it a little bit. Like there's things.
Yeah.
There are things, but I think the more I think about this, the more I think there is a lot to happen. But I guess if you had to pick who's a winner out of those two.
I think ATRT is the winner, just because it does, like, as much as we've talked about like the benefits of the STAP, and I think it will be good, and I do think it's a sleeper for sure. I can't firmly say like right now that it's definitively better than the ATRT. I would have to give it to the ATRT.
Agreed, and it's I think depending on the objective you play, could be good, could be bad. Like there is the potential to take one with HQ uplinks, pop it, get all 3 of your STAPs ready, and then play bombing run, for example. So there is a chance to do that based on the objective, but I think if you're just going standard play, go with the ATRT. And that's the hard part, too, is a lot of this stuff, we won't see until, like, October at this point.
Yeah.
So let's be real.
Why are we even theorizing?
It's like half of what we do on this cast.
That's frustrating, though. That, like, don't remind me. It is kind of getting to that point, though, where it's like, we love this game and we're never going to stop playing it, but, man, it's like, I'm glad that everything that was spoiled. Spoilers don't help. Spoilers don't help with this problem, this feeling of like these things are never coming up because they're getting announced before they're announced, you know? And so like we've known about the STAP and the ATRTs for over 2 months now. And so now that everything that's been leaked has been officially announced, it's like, all right, we're kind of getting back to that feeling of like, I don't know what's on the horizon. That'll be great. But we also still kind of do with the other leaks that happen. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like I know people are going to like print their own. And just run proxy. And that's actually what I might do once we can start playing games because I really want to see how this goes. Yeah.
No, that's a very solid point. But yeah, that's it for those units. Overall, really solid show, even though we didn't get a whole lot. Those 4 units that they did show and talk about were great. Very entertaining to kind of talk about that as well. But that's it for any concluding thoughts on these 4 units, Matt?
No, I'm excited.
Yeah.
The future of Legion is so bright.
It is.
Like, there's so much cool stuff coming up.
Well, with that being said, I think it's time to move on to our final little portion of this podcast. Some may call it Double Vision.
Double Vision.
All right. So with Double Vision today, I pulled a goof on you.
I know. You know, it's funny. We didn't talk about this before because you said you had something.
Yeah, I had something I wanted to talk to you about, and you asked me, or Matt asked me, and he's like, okay, well, what is it? I'm like, nope, I'm saving it for the podcast. I want it to be raw. I want it to be written.
Raw, untamed power.
See, I went for Lord of the Rings, unfortunately.
Raw. You know what's funny is it's the same actor.
Yeah, you're right.
Andy Serkis. Yeah.
Gosh dang. So this week's Double Vision, I wanted to talk about specialized core units.
Ooh, okay. What do you mean?
So we're talking on the threshold that's not quite a core, not quite a Spec Ops. They are just a little bit more expensive for a core unit. Perhaps they're unique, perhaps not, but they're just a little bit more expensive.
Unique core units.
And I'll give you 2 examples right away: the 501st and the 212th.
Oh, so we're talking about named core units.
Yeah, like named core units.
You know, that's an interesting thing.
So,
okay.
for example...
Okay, you actually got... You got my giblets on.
Yeah, okay, so this is why I bring it up,
I'm
right?
excited, yeah.
I don't, at the moment, feel like Kenobi does have great moves to help the clones. But we, 100%, we're going to have better synergy in future commanders. 100%. Just with clones. Because he's not a clone trooper. He can't share tokens. Rex does more to share tokens with clones than he does. Because he is a clone. But imagine that these named core units for, 212. Teamwork, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So his cards do better.
Right, his cards will do better with it. So, I gave 5 with knowledge and defense. I gave 5 dodge tokens to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, the 212 now has 5 dodge tokens.
That would be so interesting.
Or inversely, when Anakin comes and we get maybe a 501st. Teamwork, 501st.
That would be, it'd be interesting because what if you do it kind of like a command card, like in aggressive tactics sort of thing. So you'd be like commander of the 501st. At the beginning, every clone unit gets this.
Yeah.
Gets a search token.
Yeah.
It'd be aggressive tactics, but a little bit better. So it's not game breaking, but it helps so much. Dude, that's interesting. That's an idea. Because then you could do with the rebels, you could do Phoenix Cell. And like,
There you go.
all these rebels could be a part of Phoenix Squad. Once you get Hera and all these other people, you could do like, you know what's interesting about it? You could even do like Hoth defenders and stuff. Like, 'cause we know we got the Rebel vets, and they're made to look like Hoth.
Yeah.
But you could do stuff like that. You know, this makes me think of Armada, and I want you to think about this. 'Cause
Okay.
I wonder, because with there are generic. Because with Armada, you've got your ships, and you can put titles on them, and the titles
Right.
give them upgrades. But there's generic titles. Like one of them is 7th Fleet Star Destroyer. It's like Thrawn's Star
Okay.
Destroyers. And when you are taking damage from the front, you can tap that card. It's exhaustible to like reduce the damage by 1. It's on every Star Destroyer if possible. So just it's the ISD, it's Gladiator Star Destroyers, anything that has the word Star Destroyer in it can take that title. So
Like kind of like Trooper, Creature Trooper.
yeah. So
Okay.
maybe it's like that. Like it's a title that costs points, doesn't fill an upgrade slot. You can only take 1 title, but you can put that title on Clone Trooper units. So maybe it's like for 3 points you can upgrade this Clone Trooper to a 501st Clone Trooper unit. And that's where you get it. So you could run a 501st squad, but it would cost like your expensive troopers that are already 60 points as phase 2s, maybe they cost 64 points. But they get something where it's like when you're getting shot, take a dodge token or something. Or when you activate, get a free surge token, and then your surges become 2 surges.
Yeah.
What do you think of that idea?
Oh, I think that's awesome, and I'm so glad I bounced it off of you because like I'm glad you took it to the next step because my next question was going to be like with Rebels, like Saw Gerrera and
The
his
Partisans?
the Partisans.
So cool.
So like maybe they're not really like Partisans aren't really just they're better than core Rebels because they're more aggressive or whatever, but also they're not like specifically Spec Ops,
Yeah, like it was a faction within the Rebels.
Right.
It was not. It was Rebels, but it wasn't all the Rebels. It was a faction. Yeah.
Right, and I can't take this credit to my all idea. I actually listened to a few podcasts on Legion, and I kind of pulled this idea from like several different ones. So if you heard this already in a podcast this week, and you're like, hey, that sounds familiar, you're probably
did.
yeah. But I heard this from I heard the idea of like trooper core units or trooper special support units. So like maybe there's like a rebel like we've talked about before, like clone commandos being like an operative unit with multiple minis. I was like, okay, why not make them a support? But then I was like, okay, well, what a smaller scale, right? Like just regular core units,
Yeah.
making them a little bit better. Maybe if they're part of the 501st, they get surge to crit. Just kidding, that'd be broken.
That'd actually be really broken. Okay, let's be real.
I don't know. Let's just say this. We need Anakin before we talk about the 501st, I guess. But
Yeah,
I just thought that was a fun idea.
Well, it'd be so cool because like you could do upgrade packs again, but
Yep.
it wouldn't just be trooper upgrade packs. It would be like named upgrade packs.
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
have
cool.
no problem with them just releasing like a card pack like X-Wing does now with like these new upgrades, these new like ideas that aren't necessarily associated with a ship, but have like content in them. I'd pay $15 to $20 for just a lot of paper.
Oh, kind of like how they have the Hot Shots and Aces
Right.
pack versus like the other packs. Yeah.
Right.
Because we have the upgrade cards pack already, but I would love to get like a named characters pack.
Exactly.
And maybe that's like a named character. Maybe that's how you do like the Boba fix. You know what I mean?
It's like video game patches. Like later they'll just like softly
Yeah.
release something.
Yeah, I guess hey guys, we're pushing the patch through. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and we've talked about this with Wookiees too. Like, if they were to ever reprint Wookiees for the Republic, maybe that's an opportunity for them to kind of buff them up for the Rebels.
Well, it's interesting because the Beskar Duelist in particular that's what Wookiees should have had. for
Right.
Melee. I would it have changed how they get played? I don't think so. But would it have made them just a little bit more of a threat in Melee to where people brought them a little bit more?
Right.
Absolutely. Because you would bring them as a counter to Jedi and stuff. Like, if Vader's on the field, you would run them to just go at Vader.
And I'm totally willing for when, like, let's be honest, Wookiees for the Republic will come eventually.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, like this game is gonna last so long. They're gonna tackle that eventually, and so I imagine that it's gonna be like a gear or something, or like some sort of armament that like the requirement that Wookiees just can have, right? Like maybe it'll say like Wookiee warriors only, right? Maybe like you said, getting them a little bit more threat in the offense, like give them a pierce weapon, or maybe a little bit better defense, and so they get a defensive upgrade.
Even just give them like Lethal 1 or something, or Lethal 2.
That'd be nice.
It'd be interesting. So along with that, what else were you thinking about, like core trooper upgrades, like named core troopers?
Well, that's pretty much it.
Because you could do that with like
Yeah.
Empire as well.
okay, so Empire. We got. Well, I
500
can't.
First Legion is still
Right, but like other than that, like I can't think of like famous units for like stormtroopers. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Well, it's interesting because you could probably even do the Thrawn thing where you just be like 7th Fleet
Oh,
Stormtrooper
sure,
or
sure.
something. Where you'd be like, okay, like we work with this fleet. Or you could even like name them, be like Mimbon detachment. Kind of like from Solo.
Yeah.
So you could be like, you're a Mimbon trooper. Like you get
Yeah.
this bonus. Maybe it'd be a cool thing to do. It'd be really cool.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. That's my idea.
I like it. It's got me excited. Like
Yeah.
this could be a really cool thing. Because I've been looking for a way to make core troopers more important.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're really important in clones, the Empire. They're still pretty important. But like, I bought Rebel vets the other day.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing Rebels, dude. I felt like it was a bad investment because all I want to run is naked Rebel troopers to just get the points for other heavier things. So I would love a reason to get trooper upgrades again,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Right. I'm with you. I feel like core trooper units like should have still have an impact on your decision making. I feel like with so many good options for the rebels, you just take the 3 naked ones just because you have to. I don't feel like there's any like impactful decisions to be made.
Well, it's like a list I ran against you the other day: triple tauntauns plus Jin, and like I built a list last night that ended up being like Jin, Luke, triple taunts, and then a lot of like triple snipers
Yeah.
and 3 core units. Like you could do crazy things, but I feel like core troopers should be a little bit more important in the game. But I get it's also a faction based
Right.
thing. But it would be cool to have other options.
Right. I guess you're right because like clones are very much like hey, like this is our identity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
The brothers.
we'll see how that changes when the ARC troopers come out too.
Agreed.
So, stand buying with ARC troopers. Thank you. I will do that.
Yeah.
3 ARC troopers, 3 phase 1s. Yes.
Not a bad idea. Not bad.
Or phase 2s just to get the reliable.
Hey, and also Gideon and Echo and Fives can go into your core troopers. So there you go.
Pretty good idea. Well, thanks for joining me this week, Matt. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good to be here.
Yeah.
It's nice to
You
get
know,
out of the house.
yeah. Oh my gosh, can't tell you how much I agree with
Right.
that. Yeah, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Discord and Twitter and Facebook, all in the description below. Any parting thoughts, Matt?
Actually, stay 6 feet away. You can either do that horizontally or 6 feet below. So
Are you
stay
threatening
safe.
me, Master Jedi?
I am